Thanksgiving Day. Green Bay in Detroit.
Stephen, I like this one, and as I teased in the opener, 49 years ago, Bart Starr and the 10-0 Green Bay Packers walked into Detroit to play against the Lions. You know what happened that day? The same thing that's going to happen on this Thanksgiving Day. The Green Bay Packers lost their first and only game that season to Detroit, an irrelevant team at the time, 28-13. I'm picking the same upset. I think the score is going to be like 100-99, but I think Detroit, with their high-powered offense, Matthew Stafford's looking good. I know Green Bay has all the tools. I'm going to take Detroit as the only blemish on Green Bay's slate this regular season.
Wow, you must have ate a little too much turkey before Thanksgiving. There is no way in the world Green Bay will lose to Detroit. And it shows last week. Detroit fell behind Cam Newton 24-7 at halftime. Luckily, Stafford woke up and threw 5 touchdown passes. He's not going to be able to do that in one half against Green Bay.
Detroit only plays good when they're behind.
Green Bay kills them. It will be a shootout, but Green Bay wins.
Miami at Dallas.
Brings it back to a 1993 snowy day in Dallas, but Cowboys played Miami on Thanksgiving Day. Cowboys were up 14-13, ahead with 20 seconds left. Miami's lining up for a field goal. Are they going to make it? No, it gets blocked. And then who comes? Leon Lett. Come by the ball, slides down, runs into the ball. Miami recovers. They kick a field goal next play and win the game. That definitely is not going to happen today because the field does cover up, does have a roof that retracts. Dallas will destroy Miami. Miami's only beat Kansas City, Washington, and Buffalo. Now they play a good team, they'll get destroyed.
Hey, I'm kind of curious on why everybody keeps on thinking Dallas is a good team. Yeah, they've got 6 wins. They're 6-4. They're on top of the NFC East. They beat Washington this week, and it took overtime to do it. The Redskins are pathetic, and Dallas kept them in the game. Yes, it was in Washington. Now here come the Miami Dolphins, who have not given up a touchdown in 3 consecutive weeks. And yeah, Kansas City, Washington, Buffalo. I'm not taking Miami because it's not in Miami. I'm going to take Dallas, but Stephen, like I said with that Miami-Buffalo prediction last week, I'm thinking it's going to be closer than you think. It wouldn't surprise me if Miami wins, but I'm going to take Dallas at home.
San Francisco in Baltimore.
Stephen, this is a
Battle of the Brothers.
Exactly. Thank you, Rob. A Thanksgiving first, the first time in NFL history, 2 brothers, as Jim and John Harbaugh will battle against each other as the 9-1 San Francisco 49ers come to the East Coast for the 4th time this season to play against the Baltimore Ravens on a short week coming from the West Coast to the East Coast. It's going to be too much. Baltimore plays to the level of their competition, a la their losses against Jacksonville and Seattle. Baltimore, at home, Ray Rice has found his voice, says, give me the ball. I'm going to take John Harbaugh. Niners drop for the 2nd time this year.
No, San Francisco is the best team in the NFC and maybe the best team in the NFL. San Francisco and Harbaugh, they're physical. They have the same teams they had last year, but they're just more physical this year. Baltimore is suspect sometimes. I think San Francisco comes in playing the same type of ball, knocking around everybody. Baltimore gets scared. They'll have maybe no Ray Lewis in this game. San Francisco wins in a close game.
Sunday games. Houston at Jacksonville.
Matt Schaub's out of this game. Matt Leinert's coming in. I don't think that's going to matter. Houston defense is too good. I'm going with Houston.
Yeah, Houston, the thing with them, Matt Leinart just needs to be a control quarterback. Jacksonville, Maurice Jones-Drew had over 80 yards rushing against Cleveland in a loss. Houston's got the best running back in the league, Arian Foster, and, hey, they got the best receiver that might play. I've been calling for it for a couple weeks. And Andre Johnson, yeah, Houston's going to win. It doesn't matter who's quarterback in that game.
Buffalo visits the Jets.
Wow. You know what, Stephen, I am
Let me hear it.
I'm a true Bills fan.
Let me hear it.
And I'm very disappointed in their performance. I'm very disappointed in what they've done. The Jets lost to the Broncos. No offense. Mark Sanchez is not a good quarterback, and the Jets are finding that out. But when you have your top three receivers down, your running game has become suspect, and you really can't run against the Jets at home 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it pains me to say it, but I'm going to say it. I have no faith in my team. I'm taking the Jets.
Oh, all right. That's finally. Yeah, it's not even going to be a game. It may be 5-4. I can't say 4-4 because I think Jets will win, so field goal and safety and 2 safeties for Buffalo, and that's a tribute to Rob.
Ta-da! Cleveland in Cincinnati.
I'm going to say I didn't think Cincy could play with Pittsburgh or play with Baltimore, but I think the missed touchdown call against Baltimore Sunday cost Cincy the game. I think they would have won. They came roaring back, down 17 points, and should have won if that call went right. Cleveland has no chance. Cincinnati wins big.
Yeah, Andy Dalton has given the voters, here we go again, a very tough decision when it comes to NFL Rookie of the Year. Yeah, Cam Newton is the glamour guy, but Andy Dalton has been a guy that's been winning games. Cincinnati currently sits in the wild card position, the second wild card position in the AFC. They need this win against the cross-state rival Cleveland. I think they're going to get it, and I think it's not going to be close.
Minnesota at Atlanta.
You know, Stephen, the Falcons, we talked about it during the games. They went for it a couple times on fourth down and actually converted all those times. You know, a couple quarterback sneaks, you know, a little bootlegging, a little bit of Michael Turner because they ran the ball before that. Minnesota is now without Adrian Peterson for a while, and, of course, now Christian Ponder is just going to be a target. Line up 8 in the box, force the guy to throw it against you. To Percy Harvin, your best receiver who stands no taller than 5'6". Atlanta might get Julio Jones back this week. Do you need him? Hand the ball to Michael Turner. Give him the ball 25 times. Watch him run the ball wild. Atlanta in a romp.
I had Ponder in my fantasy league this week. I just want to say that was a sad week because Breeze was on bye, so that was my backup, and it was horrible. Ponder's no good. Atlanta wins.
Arizona in St. Louis.
Man. I don't know. Let me flip a coin. St. Louis wins.
Yeah,
it's not even it's boring, Chad.
No, it is boring. It's in St. Louis? I think that's what we were just told there.
Yeah.
Come on. You know, Arizona went to Philadelphia and won a couple weeks ago. That it wouldn't surprise me if Arizona won again. You know, and I'm going to take them just because they can do it. They've proven it, and that's just because I'm saying that.
Carolina visits Indianapolis.
Carolina against Indianapolis. Do the Colts get their first win of the season after a bye week? You know, Cam Newton looked really good against Detroit, who's considered one of the better teams in the NFC. Indianapolis is considered one of the worst teams in the league. Peyton Manning is still not playing. Andrew Luck is waiting. Take Carolina.
Yeah, Carolina. I don't even need to say anything. If anybody that plays Indy's going to win.
Tampa Bay in Tennessee.
Now, Tampa Bay had a tough game against Green Bay, but they looked good. Josh Freeman looked excellent. You know, that's the Josh Freeman that I knew last year, and I thought that would show up this year, and he's only showed up in a few games. Tampa played good D. Tennessee doesn't really look that good to me. I'm taking Tampa Bay.
You know, Tennessee has a hard time losing at home. They are a good team at LP Field. Jake Locker looked good against the Falcons, but I think Matt Hasselbeck will come back. I think Chris Johnson will find a way to run the ball against Tampa Bay. I don't believe Tampa Bay can have 2 good performances in a row. Yeah, Josh Freeman's looking good, especially against Green Bay. I don't think he can do it on the road 2 weeks in a row. I'm going to take Tennessee at home against Tampa Bay.
Chicago in Oakland.
Here we go. Chicago, one of the better teams in the NFL, no doubt, this year. Enter Caleb Haney. Yes, Jay Cutler fractured his throwing thumb, had surgery on it, and the Bears, they were the threat to Green Bay. They still might be. You know, Jay Cutler might come back, but Caleb Haney on the road against Oakland. You know, Michael Bush looks good enough to run the ball against the Chicago defense. You know, it doesn't matter. Carson Palmer at home. I'm taking Oakland over Chicago.
I like Chicago, Chad. Caleb Henry came in the NFC Championship game and looked pretty good against Green Bay. They're not going to ask him to do too much. They're going to have Forte run the ball. I think Chicago upsets Oakland.
Washington in Seattle.
Seattle's coming on strong. Pete Carroll's got them believing. They're playing good D. You know, they beat Baltimore at home, came and whooped up on St. Louis. Now they're back at home when you know they're good. Marshawn Lynch is a beast. Washington, they got up for their rivalry game. They'll get destroyed in Seattle.
Yeah, it's in Seattle. Simply put, Washington does not play good on the road, and they don't play good at home. Well, they did play good last week, but it doesn't matter. Seattle, Marshawn Lynch going to run all over them. Seattle at home.
Denver in
All right,
San Diego.
let's talk Tim Tebow. Or wait, Tebow. Or is it Tebow? It doesn't matter. Tim Tebow, 20-yard scamper for a game-winning touchdown against the Jets on Thursday night. Stephen, that was the most excitement that Denver's had since the last time he came back and figured out a way to win. Philip Rivers is having one of his probably the worst season that he's had as a professional. Denver is hot. They're running with Tebow. He probably won't be the quarterback next year. It doesn't matter. He's the quarterback now. They're winning. Denver continues the streak with Tim Tebow.
I'm going to have to agree with you. And because of John Fox's defense, it looked horrible at the beginning of the year. All of a sudden, Tebow comes in, and they're just a brick wall. Nobody can move on them. And that's what keeps them in the game until it's late enough in the fourth quarter where Tebow decides he wants to start playing. And San Diego is a joke this year. I like Denver.
New England visits Philadelphia.
Which Philly team's going to show up? Their backs were against the wall, and they played good defense. You know, they were ahead in every game except one in the fourth quarter, and they've lost. Except, you know, they held this game out. But if Philly plays D that way, I don't care if Vince Young or Michael Vick plays. As long as they play D like that, they'll destroy New England. I think they will. They have to win. I picked Philly.
You know, it's interesting how it works. Both of these teams I made fun of at the beginning of the season because Buffalo beat on them. Now you can make fun of me. New England, sitting on top of the AFC East, they've got Tom Brady. And to me, it doesn't matter who you have on defense. Tom Brady has shown you that he can pick them apart. Yeah, Philadelphia, doesn't matter the quarterback. If Michael Vick plays, I think it's an easy win for New England. If Vince Young plays, you have that Tim Tebow factor where you never know when Vince Young's going to show up. Let's call this one a toss-up, really. You've got Philadelphia. I'm going to take New England. I don't like picking them, as we all have noted many a times in the past, but I'm definitely going to say New England's going to go on the road, beat Philadelphia.
Pittsburgh in Kansas City.
Honestly, coming off the bye week, Pittsburgh should destroy them. Kansas City, no defensive player, no running back, no quarterback. Heck, Pittsburgh on a bye week, yeah. Take the Steelers.
Pittsburgh, it doesn't matter. Bye week, they had 3 weeks off, the whole season off. Pittsburgh beats them.
Monday Night Football, the Giants in New Orleans.
This may be one of the best games. Giants have to win to keep pace with Dallas, and New Orleans needs to keep winning because Atlanta's right there. I don't know, but Drew Brees at home, I got to think New Orleans is going to win.
Yeah, I mean, Steven, think about it. Again, New Orleans is coming off the bye week. They've got an extra day to prepare. The Giants looked flat. When you have a running back like Brandon Jacobs that cannot break a defensive line in Philadelphia that has been crap all season long, you've got to wonder. I don't believe Ahmad Bradshaw is going to come back for the Giants. Eli Manning's having a great season, but New Orleans is tough at home. Easy street. New Orleans, I don't think it's going to be close. I think they show them that they're one of the better teams in the NFC. New Orleans at home. Gentlemen, it's time to do something very unusual here on SportsJAM.